Hello, I'm Jessie Janae, your wonderful host of Unboxing Things. We're going to unbox a brand and talk all about how it gets its product to your doorstep. Let's see what's in my mailbox today. I'm feeling with my hand before I use my eyes. It's a big one. Okay, I'm going in. Oh my gosh, it's a big one. It's Health-ade Kombucha. What is kombucha? It's a liquid you drink, an elixir of sorts. It's non-alcoholic. There's a trace amount from the fermentation process, but it's a delightful beverage, a tea, if you will. I love it. I'm personally a big kombucha fan, and this is my favorite brand. Health-ade is so yummy and so fresh, and they get that freshness from small batch production. This is a big one. Let's see how big. We've got about a 13, almost a 14 there, and then by 10 by 10. It's a big box, and it's also a heavy box. What can I tell from the outside of this box? You might think it's an RSC, but you'd be wrong, because this is not actually an RSC style box. It looks like it, but there's a subtle difference, and I'm actually going to pull out my blade early to give you a feeling for it, because if it was an RSC style box, there'd be a flap in the middle somewhere, right? Is it here? Is it here? And if I slice in, you're going to be able to see that my suspicion is the full flap box, meaning that instead of the flaps coming together and meeting in the middle, and then there being a piece of tape, the flaps are overlapping each other. A brand would do this because their product is heavier, like Health-ade's, and you actually want to have the two pieces of corrugate lying on top of each other to add additional strength. All right, I opened it. I didn't even expect this. Okay, I opened it, Health-ade Kombucha, and then opened the flap, champion of the happiest and healthiest you, exclamation. You can see here that I was correct on the flappage. So you've got full flap, and then when you get in here, you have a less than full overlap sub-flap system. This box is printed on one side of the material. It's also white on one side. So you can see here that the material started out craft white. So white is on one side of the corrugate material to begin with. And then it ran through a printing machine. It was cut and also printed with this dark blue color. The dark blue color ripples throughout. There's no other print color on the outside of the box. Even a panel like this that is full printed, it's still the same color. So even though you have like full color on this side and less color on this side, it's still one color printing. You have this fun illustration. The logo for Health-ade Kombucha, or the kind of logo mark, is this beautiful little anchor, and then the navy blue plus our little guy over here kind of evokes a nautical energy, because not all kombucha is created equal. This one gives you muscles, I think is what they're trying to say. Look at this side. We got a lady over here. Love that. You've got follow your gut, which is like instincts, go for it, etc. But also, kombucha is well known to be very positive for your gut biome, flora, fermentation, yada yada. Other practical callouts on this box. They're shipping a heavy product. By nature of what it is, it has to be that way. It's bottled. They use glass bottles. So it's fragile. You've got glass. You've got liquid. Also, this side up. It's much less likely to leak and there to be issues if it's kept upright. So it's important that that stuff is on here. They have that on every surface. All four sides says fragile and this side up, so no matter how it's oriented on a doorstep or in a truck, people can see that. Other things about the product here, certified raw, non-GMO, USDA organic, certified gluten-free, so things that are just call-outs about the product, which is helpful. And then the best tasting and highest quality kombucha you can buy. This is bold. I love the boldness of their entire brand. Whether, I don't know if it's just the nautical thing coming through or the boldness of the type or the navy blue, but they're like, kombucha, you want it? We got it. Ours is the best. All glass, no plastic, real food, small batch, cold pressed. So again, more elements of how the product is made, what you're about to enjoy. and of course your shipping label. On the very bottom, there's just a BMC, box maker certificate. Again, when your product orientation really requires the box to go one way, it's actually best not to print all over the box because you don't really want people turning it over to read the bottom. Let's get back inside this box. We're back inside. Again, you can see the unprinted white on that side, the craft on the other. When I open the insulation, there's a piece of foam. This foam has some insulation properties, I'm sure. It also has a place for the cap so that it helps orient the bottles, but this is also a cushion. So for something like a glass product that needs to remain cold, you've got a dual thing going on. This is insulative, but also protective, meaning it helps prevent the glass from breaking and moving around. And then, once you get through there, you've arrived at your product. The product is actually nestled in between ice packs, these dark blue, these light kind of cobalt blue things. I'm gonna remove these. When I remove the ice packs that surround the product and put the product to the side, the product, of course, is beautiful. We've got these beautiful labels printed and then applied to glass bottles. And then below that, another foam insert, again, probably providing a dual purpose of insulation and also cradling the bottles, keeping them at a safe distance from each other so they don't rub and break since they are glass. If I take all of the ice packs out, I'll notice that this is providing some insulative properties as well, but also keeping everything combined, making sure the ice packs and the foam stay in place so that when it goes into the box, which is a straightforward, full overlap box, nothing rustles around. The full overlap is on the bottom as well. So I'm gonna actually open this up too. The box is put together using clear packing tape. And if I open this, I'll see that the bottom is also full overlap, same as the top that we opened. And that's your whole box construction. When you think about it physically, it makes sense. When a piece of material comes together like this and then is taped, you've got a real weak point there in the center. Whereas when a material is fully overlapped and then taped, it's much harder for it to jostle apart or break open. And if you've got a fragile product, that can be the difference between make and break. And then, of course, there's this beautiful insert that was sitting right on top when we opened it. Great placement. It's beautifully printed. It's a matte finish. Has actually kind of a linen texture to it. Kombucha means delicious in English. I don't know if that's accurate. I'm going to look it up. I think they're being cheeky. Hashtag follow your gut, please refrigerate. So some practical call outs and then also some social call outs and then a bit of story and some additional reinforcement of the way that they produce the product, small batch, all glass, and they're encouraging you to share. So it's really just kind of a nice way of bringing the product to life. It's time to roll in the recap. Health-ade's packaging is great for a lot of reasons, but let's dive into a few of my favorites. One, it's nautical. All right, there's a nautical theme going on with the navy blue and the nautical imagery and the anchor, and I love it. It's consistent and it's really memorable. Nautical, kombucha, Health-ade. Next up, it's protective. Whether it's the full overlap flap, the strength of the corrugate, the fact that the foam inserts hold the bottles in place, everything about the packaging means that those glass bottles, this precious liquid, is going to arrive to you safely, which is of paramount importance. And third, it's economical. The packaging itself is not going to break the bank as it relates to the unit economics of the item. And this is really important because packaging can be beautiful and you can spend and spend and spend on it, but not only do you not want to be wasteful, but also when you have a product that people consume, they might be ordering a case a week. You don't want the packaging to be so overblown that it eats into the cost of the product and you need to charge more. Well done, Health-ade. This has been Health-ade Unboxed.